Basically, when I first thought about this project, you know, I sort of, first and foremost was Pittsburgh, and that is a location, and how I kind of perceive Pittsburgh and how she would perceive Auckland, so that was quite important, with location. And so I came up with this idea of, you know, tiki touring, like tours by proxy. She would choose sites in Auckland, and I choose sites in Pittsburgh, but this is all through the internet and through internet research and stuff, see what we could come up with. And so she selected like half a dozen for me, but I had, you know, been to Sky Tower and the museum, but I hadn't visited Rangitoto Island, and I chose a site for her, which is where two rivers meet, which is quite a historical cultural site, because that's where the French and Indian war started in the 1700s. Yeah, so they had quite strong you know, historical cultural references. And yeah, so basically my perspective was decided you know, from a tourist point of view. And initially we actually agreed to not show any people and just have all the green and flora, but when I went on the ferry, what interested me is all the little things like going to the toilet and all those types of experience, and seeing debris and, you know, pollution, and finding that little hut and stuff here. And the idea about the narration, now we actually recorded, it's 4 minutes long, we recorded what we thought we would see, or kind of imagined what we would see in each other's location. And so she recorded her audio, I filmed Rangitoto, and then she sent me the audio, and I spliced it together. So yeah, that's how and I did the same. So she hasn't seen my footage. Also, I didn't edit to the audio, I basically edited all the footage. I'd heard maybe 30 seconds of the audio just to make sure that it actually worked. So I cut it up and then just laid the audio track over the top. So yeah, whether it matched or didn't match. Yeah.
Go through it, let's start.
Yeah, Maila, who came up with this idea of selecting this type of arrangement?
I think, yeah, I did.
You did?
Because it was pretty much, yeah, there wasn't a lot of communication for like the first 7 days or something. It all kind of came together the last couple of days.
Okay.
Where we were communicating both ways.
Yeah, I found it quite amusing because it was all low shots, and her commentary wasn't too bad actually. We sort of matched up with your footage. Yeah, did she have some idea of what Rangitoto was like, or did she have?
No, just from what she saw on the internet, like going to a tourist, you know, website, just finding on a website. Yeah, that's how she chose all her locations.
Oh, her description wasn't too bad, eh? You know, it's well, from seeing the footage and just reading something off the paper, you know, it's pretty good.
But we took that risk of not knowing, you know, whether they would match, and then we just.
What do you think about that, Lester, about that sort of, you've got the source from what she could research from the States to find out about Rangitoto. What do you think that's part of the work, and how does it inform the work? And you know?
Yeah, I think that, yeah, well, that, yeah, it was part of the work, her doing her research, which was great. Like I had problems with my partner trying to research something that I wanted, which she had a little bit of trouble with, but it seems like Maila's partner did extremely well.
Like, just the knowledge of, okay, the lack of knowledge. I mean, realistically, it's like, if you're going to comment on another race, you should probably find out what it means. Like, not to be, you know, it's just, like, ooh, I want to say that.
But I mean,
that's
You know what I
exactly
mean?
the.
Like, it's like,
yeah.
if you're gonna talk on something, like, just know a little bit more, like.
I think that was the intention, though. What we exactly.
Oh, really? Okay.
I mean, that you're highlighting exactly what you don't
yeah, like
know,
token,
what
like
you
bits
think
of
you know.
information, and like, yeah.
It's all just surface. Yeah. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, I thought it was a really clever and funny way of highlighting those issues, and yeah, I'm sure they'll perceive it in a completely different way as well. But then your video will probably be more poignant to them. your
I thought she
audio.
was trying to put the audio
footage.
to your video.
Exactly.
Yeah, so did I. I thought that she was.
So I had no idea what she was recording, like, and she hasn't seen. She has no idea.
It seemed apparent to me that they were very separate actually, because of her, she seems to be very much in her time, not like she was talking about Maori, how did she say?
Maori.
Yeah.
Maori people, yeah, and how something about America and there should be McDonald's everywhere and
Hounding the bell.
yeah, I'm just going to find my chaise lounge and my martini now and yeah, she seemed very, yeah.
What was
that,
about the blood? The Maori meant something like
Yeah, that's what she thought.
But there were times when the audio track was in sync with the video. So
Yeah.
and now we'll look over here, and the camera moved, and
Yeah.
you sort
I
of
felt that
you
was
tied
really
those
bizarre,
things in
sometimes
together.
the
But there
time.
were other times when
yeah.
it was out of sync, and I think that sort of shift
yeah.
is what helps the work a lot, because you're dislocated, you get comfortable that hang on, there's these two separate things, and then they come together again.
Yeah.
And so that sort of acknowledgement and an estrangement from each other is quite central, I think.
Yes. Also, your filming was interesting too. That you were going to this beautiful island, and it was quite a gorgeous day too. But it wasn't just scenic shots. Like that, your footage was quite. Yeah, maybe what she had in her head was very different to what you know.
And I was aware of it too,
Yeah.
so I did kind of.
There was that
throw in
creative
a
license.
spin and then, yeah.
You were all sort of going, God, you know, at the beginning when you were discussing just then, you were sort of dissing the idea almost, you know, sort of like, this is how, you know, this is what people think in New Zealand type of thing. But isn't that something that we do for everywhere in the world?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, isn't
like,
that
yeah,
how
token,
all
yeah.
your knowledge of most of the world is constructed through, not through actual experience, but
Yeah,
through...
through like the internet or through
Yeah.
booklets. You're not really there, you're just viewing what might be there, you know, it's, you don't actually
Well-
experience it.
Well, there's a critical take on tourism that there's no such thing as a genuine experience, because you only go to places where you know you're going to get a certain outcome.
Yeah, like.
Otherwise,
yeah.
you can only go where you know you're going. You can't go somewhere where you don't know you're going to go, in some strange sort of way, as a tourist, I mean. So that any tourism experience is already predetermined by your choice to do it.
Unless you're running away. No, jokes.
But even if you're running away, even if you choose to run away, you're making a choice of what you mean by that. You're getting away from here, so I'm going to somewhere where this is not.
Yeah, there's
So
always
therefore
like a
you've determined
choice.
what that this is not is.
I got bummed out.
Although, if you find yourself somewhere that you haven't you found yourself somewhere that you hadn't expected to be, or
But those are sort of a different tourist experience. I think those are not. I mean, I don't know if I classify them as a tourist experience.
yeah,
So,
right.
you know, if you go in and book your flight centre flight to India, you'll have a predetermination of what you're going to go and see, and so therefore that is what you're going to go and see.
Not in India.
What's
One
kind of
country in the
interesting
world
about it though is that
Speak again.
how do we actually know that that is Rangitoto?
Exactly.
She could have just gone
Yeah.
anywhere to film that.
Well, for us it is, because we know about it. But if you
Yeah.
don't, I mean, for some person looking on YouTube,
They just
You're
could
gonna
have
have
like,
no
what the hell?
idea. Like this
That's
voice
cool.
is not quite connecting with what we're seeing visually, but sometimes it does, and then there's a bit of a shift. And
So what was the avatar in your piece then?
It was basically what I was seeing, or that I suppose that representation of Rangi Toto that I suppose we were seeing together, experiencing together. Yeah. It was good that that I hadn't been there before. I mean, I think that was quite crucial because it was all new to me. I was like,
doesn't the avatar become this output here? Because it's a construct of its own. You know, it's neither
That's what I mean.
neither one
What
is
I was seeing
accurate,
in
neither.
the narrative.
Yeah. It's a sort of fusion. It's generated a new self in some way.